can tell you this, if you are not a tither, you end up a beggar.
Welcome to the moment of truth. The whole world, the whole Christians stood up against Oyedepo, Adeboye, Oyakilome, NHA, all the liars, MFM, about tithe and offering. They are asking them these questions. As Muslim, do Muslim pay tithe? Why is Saudi Arabia is thinkingly rich? They are the rich, or one of the richest in the whole world, but they never pay tithe. Why? Why are you telling us all these lies? Oyedepo is yet to answer all these questions. And now, let's move on to the next video, and I'll be coming back to tell you what their dogs, their moose, are coming to my platform to do. I will read it to you, and I put their names there. Stay tuned.
God is changing suit every day. Every other pastor comes up with rag. Milk tithe out of everybody, and you keep it for yourself. After 10 years, God's servant becomes a demigod. Others become servant. Malachi 3:2 that we always quote is not for the members. Church started, all of them were friends. And even when God's servant received the seed, it will never go round. After 10 years, God's servant becomes a demigod. Others become servant. Because he will make sure he will create that gap, and it will be very clear to know who is in charge.
On Elisha, and they came to meet him and bowed themselves to the ground before him. I decree in the name that's above every other name, Christians from every other denomination will bow before you.
As Christians, we pay tithe, we make offerings, but many times we pay tithes and offerings with wrong intentions. We think that we are in a casino and that we are investing and God will make us millionaires. And when we don't get the millions, we get disappointed. And we who are here as professionals today, it is a day to interrogate ourselves, to ask ourselves questions wherever we are, whether we can pass the litmus test. Suppose there was to be a rupture today, that Christ were to come today on the basis of the criteria that is provided in the Bible, would you get to heaven? Ask yourself that question. It is not the number of services that you attend every year. It is not the tithes and offerings that you pay. Would you get to heaven by your very actions? And this is what makes me make reference to the story of the Good Samaritan, recorded in the book of Luke, as I said a little earlier, chapter 10, verses 29 through to 37. And Christ was answering what was essentially a very simple question. Who is your neighbor? That was the question that was posed. And who is your neighbor? It would have been possible for him to say that your neighbor is he or she who lives next to you. But he did not answer in that way. He said, there was a man who was traveling that road, that dangerous road, and he was ambushed by robbers. And when he lay there dying, a Levite passed. Levites, we are latter-day Levites. They did nothing. Another believer passed, did nothing. And then there came a Samaritan. And in order to understand the context of this story, you must understand the status of the Samaritans during the times when Christ walked on the surface of this earth. And this Good Samaritan, we now call him the Good Samaritan, said he took care of him and went to the inn and said, take care of him, and if there is any additional expense, you tell me. Today, courtesy of his actions, we say he was a good Samaritan. How many of you professionals here have found yourselves in situations where you could have been a good Samaritan, but you are not? How many of you here who are lawyers in government institutions, who when called upon to do that which is good and right, you seek to be bribed first? How many of you here, I'm not asking you to raise your hands, but I'm asking you to inspect your heart. How many of you here who are doctors, upon whom it fell to save life and asked many questions, irrelevant questions, and lives were lost? How many of you here are engineers who compromise the standards and qualities of our roads that you may become rich? How many of you? How many of you who are reporters here who will distort what we are saying today? How many of you? Because when you find yourself in any situation where your acts or omissions can harm another, that other is your neighbor. This is the message. So, as to who is your neighbor changes from time to time, but your conduct must never change. In other words, as professionals, we must make painful choices. You know, many times I listen to fellow Christians and they say, I love the Lord, and I do not begrudge them. I'm not in the business of begrudging them, because they have their duty and right to love the Lord. But a few minutes later, when they are driving on the road, they do not love the other motorists. And I said, how can they possibly be conducting themselves in a manner that could lead to the death of the other motorists, and then they say they love the Lord? In John 1, you are told that you are a liar if you are such a one as that. And you know, in this country, when we say there is corruption or evil, all these other things, who are the midwives of corruption in this country? Professionals. We are the midwives. Look at any institution that is collapsing or has collapsed. Who has presided over the collapse of such institutions? In other words, as professionals, we are enjoined to make choices. But which choices do we make? Today, as Christians, we pay tithe, we make offerings, but many times we pay tithes and offerings with wrong intentions. We think that we are in a casino and that we are investing and God will make us millionaires. And
Professor Lumumba wouldn't have said it more better or clearer. So I hope this guy will go now and question him. So this man wrote, his name is Chiji Oke wrote, I have watched some of your YouTube videos and it appears that you have had personal conflict. Can you imagine how someone reasons with the owners and operators of the religious enterprise in Nigeria? Like to hear from you. I don't talk to your type because your motive is wrong already, so I do not have your time. So let's move on to another mule of fall down and die pastor. So this one, Abidogun Modupe, said again concerning Olukoya's son, what's your business? If you don't see him, do you want to kill him as they failed to when he was a baby? It is better to keep short in what you don't know, because then she started raining curses. So there's no need for us to see all those curses because they are already in bondage. My question now is, this man is calling fall down and die, fall down and die. So the people that they are asking to die, are they not someone's sons? Are they not someone's daughters? The people that he kept in prison, in police said, the people that he's chasing here and there, take it to court here and there, are they not people's children? See the mentality of people. He now keeping his own son like a palliative because they want to kill him. Imagine. They kept that boy from the stomach or whoever that gave birth to that boy until now. He should be around 16 now, 20. They are still keeping him. Everything he went to was private. So this is the person that says he has power to deliver you. All of you that are running up and down to men. He can deliver, but he's running up and down himself. He kept his whatever his son or who in bondage. Everyone around him living in bondage. They all running up and down. They want to kill her. They want to kill her. People that he put in prison, he said they want to kill him. And you that is living freely, you free your mind. You free. You move around. Your children go to school on their own and everything. You still go and meet this one that's in bondage to deliver you. It doesn't work like that. The Bible tells us about the believer authority. Believers do not care about who want to kill him. Your own is to remain in the Lord if you have Christ. So if you see all these things and you still don't want to know God for yourself, you still want to be going around and attacking people that is trying to open your eyes. I don't know what to suggest. I don't know. This man that is appearing to people in their dreams, he go there to kill them now. If you go to people to meet people in their dreams, in their vulnerable state, you go there with evil intention. And that's what all these pastors are doing. They're attacking people in their dreams. But God is bigger than them. Everyone that worked with this fall down and die man, pastors that work with him, and they say, okay, we want to start our own. No way, he didn't let them succeed. None of them have never record anyone, any single one. I can tell you how many people I knew when I was in this church for 5 years that are no longer around now. Miserable death everywhere. You cannot leave him and prosper. He will not let you. All their churches, nothing happens there if they leave him. So people must remain in his bondage forever. And he's hiding his son. They say they want to kill his son. I'm not the one that said it too. This one said it too. That's why he say, why do you want to see him? Why must you be hiding? Isn't that bondage on his own? Deliverance is not in any man, no. Don't let anybody lie to you, oh. And we've been trying to open your eyes, so. And Professor have preached it. Which one are you? Are you a good Samaritan? As the Bible says, love your neighbor as you love yourself. But all these men, they are collecting first fruit. This fall down and die man is collecting first fruit, oh. And he's collecting first fruit, all of them. Tithe is not even enough for them anymore. Lie here and there. That's why I know they will not see Christ too, because liar will not see Christ. And they know that. They know that. That's why they have no mercy. Anyone that cross their paths, the person will cry in the end. I see you on my next video. Bye for now. Know God for yourself.